Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Mahoney again. I'm here to talk with you. Oh, you didn't see me. I was invisible. Can you say that word? Invisible. Yeah, I was invisible for a few seconds. So, invisible means not able to be seen. You couldn't see me. You could hear me, but you couldn't see me. So, guess what? When we're talking or making any sounds, sounds are invisible. Hmm, that's right. You can't see the sound because sounds are invisible. So we've been learning about the five senses. What sense did we talk about yesterday? Yes, we talked about sight, and we use our eyes to use that sense. Okay, so today, our main topic that we're going to be talking about is the sense of hearing. So before we get started, I want you to repeat after me our objectives today. All right? I can identify the main topic. I can retell key details from the sense of hearing. Good. Those are our objectives today. So right now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Keep them closed. Be very quiet and listen to the sounds all around you. And now you can open your eyes and think about the sounds that you heard. What did you hear? I heard a little humming sound coming from the heater. Maybe you heard a truck outside or a car pulling into the parking lot. Maybe you heard a friend tap, tap, tapping while they were sitting. We heard all kinds of sounds. You might have heard the hum of the overhead lights, the birds and insects outside, other kids in other classroom, or somebody in high heels walking down the hallway. So there's a lot of sounds that we might have heard. Sometimes sound can be really loud, like a lion's roar, or really quiet, like a whisper. Take a minute to practice roaring like a lion. Whoa, I could hear that from here. That was crazy. Now, take a minute to whisper to your neighbor. Say hi, friend. Good. So we have some really big sounds and some really teeny tiny sounds. Today, we're going to talk about the sense of hearing and the sounds we hear. So, on our little flip chart, you can see all different types of ears. Many animals, well, most animals, have ears that help them hear, even though they may look different. All these ears look different. Your ears are always taking in the sounds that come from all around, whether you are awake or asleep, talking or listening, walking or swimming. Even if you cover your ears, you will still be able to hear sound. Let's try it. Can you still hear me? Yeah, but it's a little muffled. You can take your hands down now. It's not too hard to close your eyes and make it so you can't see anything, but you can't turn your ears off. They hear sound all the time. Listen to find out how the sounds you hear get around or through objects and into your ears. Here's a sound wave diagram. So, how does sound get in your ear? Sound travels through the air in sound waves. Like waves in the ocean, sound waves move up and down as they move across a space. Sound waves are bands or waves of noise. The word wave can have other meanings. You can wave with your hand, You can have a wave in your hair. Mine's a little wavy right now. A heat wave is when there are several days in a row that the weather is very hot. So there's lots of different types of waves, but we're focusing on a sound wave, which is like this. And you can see the little lines right here, wavy lines. We've made some wavy lines at school too. Remember when we're practicing our writing strokes? So they kind of look like sound waves almost. Just like ocean waves, sound waves make noise as they move. But unlike ocean waves, sound waves are invisible. There's that word that we used. Mrs. Mahoney was invisible at the beginning of the video. So sound waves are invisible. You can't see them. What are some other things that are invisible? Think about it and keep it in your head. So let's see. Sound waves are all around you, zooming through the air and bouncing off or traveling through objects. So I want to see you guys move your arms like this in a wavy motion. Or you can do this. You can wave them like that. That's how sound moves all around us, even though we can't see it. But it's constantly making those wavy motions so that we can hear the sounds. Sometimes you can hear someone's voice out in the hallway, even though the door is closed. That's because sound waves can actually travel right through a door or a wall. Just like the sound waves traveled through your hands to your ears when I was talking to you. Remember when you had your hands over your ears? The sound waves still traveled through your hands. It might have been a little quieter, but the sounds are muffled or quieted because the waves lose strength when they pass through something. However, sound waves do not travel through everything. Sometimes they bounce off things, especially things like mountains or big buildings. Have you ever heard an echo? Echo, echo, echo. An echo is a sound that you hear again when sound waves bounce back off of something. Have you ever been out in the middle of a field and there's a big building nearby, or there's hills, and you yell and you say, hello, and you hear, hello, hello, hello. You can hear echoing. It is pretty cool. You should try it sometime. Now this is cool too. This photo shows a place called Echo Point. It's in the Blue Mountains of Australia. With a good loud shout from this cliff, the sound waves from your voice travel out and bounce off the surrounding cliffs. So you can see there's lots of cliffs for the sounds to bounce off of and echo off. A second or two later, you can hear your voice echo very clearly, almost as if someone else were standing on the opposite cliff and copying everything you said. Okay, this shows a diagram of the ear. Okay, when sound waves travel into your ear, they bounce off your eardrums. So here's your eardrum. Your eardrums are inside your ears. And like real drums, when they get bumped by sound waves, they vibrate back and forth like my hand. They vibrate in a very small motion, not like this, but in a small, quick motion like that. When these vibrations travel inside your ear to your brain can figure out what sound made the vibrations. Your brain can also help you describe the sound by figuring out if it's loud or quiet and if it's high or low. Okay, so this is a drawing of someone's head. And you can see the bee. Bees make what sound as they fly past your ear? Yeah, buzz. So you'll hear buzz, and when the bee makes that sound, it goes buzz, and it goes straight to your eardrum so that you can hear, and your ears will protect you from that bee. It might say, Get away from that bee. I can hear it. That's what your brain might be thinking when it hears the bee, to protect you. Ooh, this is a red fire alarm. One way to describe a sound is to tell how loud or quiet it is. This is called the volume. Volume means the loudness of a sound, how loud or quiet the sound is. Sometimes Mrs. Mahoney might tell you to turn the volume down on your voice. That means to chat quietly with a friend, right? That means turn the volume down. But sometimes, if we are doing some practice, I might say, turn the volume up on your voices so that I can hear it. You guys know that. Another way to describe a quiet sound is to say that it is a soft sound. A whisper is a soft sound. Think back to the last time you heard a fire alarm in your school. Was it loud or was it soft? Yeah, it was loud. A fire alarm is supposed to be really loud so people can't ignore it. The loud volume of the fire alarm makes you want to run away from it. So this image shows people wearing a bunch of different ear protection. If you hear a really loud noise, you might automatically use your hands to cover your ears like we did earlier. Your brain tells you to cover your ears in order to keep your eardrums safe from sound waves that might damage them. Sometimes sound waves are so loud that they can really hurt your ear. Sometimes people use earplugs or earmuffs to keep the really loud, damaging noises out of their ears. So these people all have different types of jobs, and think about what kinds of sounds could harm them if they didn't protect their ears with their ear protection. Think about their jobs. This protection might be to protect against the loud sounds of the racetrack, loud cars. This one could be to protect against maybe a chainsaw is what he's holding. Those are really loud. This one looks like he might cut down trees. I'm not sure. But he definitely needs some kind of ear protection, so he must have a loud job. Same with this person. So there's lots of different sounds that could potentially damage our ears. So people who are working with those sounds every day want to make sure they have good ear protection to make sure their ears stay healthy. So protect your ears from loud noises, and unless a parent or a doctor is helping you, never put anything in your ears. The only things that should go in your ears are sound waves. Remember those waves? All right. So I have some questions, and these questions will be kind of practice in your seesaw activity too. What is the main topic, or was the main topic of today's lesson or today's read aloud? Right, sense of hearing. What should you do to keep your ears safe from harm? There's that word again, harm. How can we keep our ears safe from harm? Yeah, you can protect them by covering them up with your hands. Never put anything in them. You could wear ear protection if you're at a really, really loud place. Some people wear ear protection at events like concerts too to protect their ears. What is happening when a sound wave echoes? What happens when a sound wave echoes? Right, sound waves bounce off of things like cliffs, mountains, tall buildings, and the noise comes back to you so that you can hear it again. All right, and we already talked about our word invisible. And I want you to say, I'm going to give you an object, and I want you to say if it's visible or invisible. If something is visible, we can see it. If something is invisible, we can't see it. So listen, A ball. That is visible. We can see it. A table. That's visible too. We can see it. Sound waves. Yep, those are invisible. We can't see those, but they do come into our ears. A car. Yep, that's visible. We can see a car. And air. Nope, we can't see air, so it is invisible. Great job, friends. I'll see you tomorrow.